Welcome to the Linear Podcast, where we talk about life curveballs with wisdom, a dash of humor, one laugh at a time. I am your host, Shiro Mwangi, and today we're talking about a very interesting topic, dating. Not only dating, but dating in midlife. So I am a midlife human being who found herself single in her 40s. And as we start the podcast, I'd like to have two questions that I would like for all of us to think about. So one is it possible to fall in love after having been truly, madly, deeply in love and had your heart broken into a million little pieces? The next question is it better to have loved and lost or to never have loved at all? So my answer to both questions is yes and yes, because love is beautiful. I love love. I love being in love and I love loving. And there's something about love that is just magical. You glow different, you work different, but the most important love truly is loving yourself. However, when you're in love with another human being and they're loving you back, there's some magic that happens. So anyway, Leaning, let's have this conversation. Dating in midlife, I don't know what has happened in our generation. I find, and I'm speaking about my personal experience, it could be different for you, but I find that this generation of humans, our generation, midlife humans, we are hurting so bad. People have been hurt so bad. And not hurt people hurt others. People are really broken. People are really lost. And some have sought help. Others are the victims. And others are not even aware they have a problem or they need help. So those are the people that we are ending up with. And the brokenness is coming from childhood issues. It's becoming from broken relationships. And what is going to happen is if you end up with such a person who has not worked on themselves, you end up bleeding on each other for wounds that you have not caused each other. It's always said, don't go shopping on an empty stomach. So same way, by the way, don't go looking to get into a relationship if you haven't healed from the last. Because what is going to happen is, because you're vulnerable, you're in a space of just wanting, you're in a space of uncertainty, you're in a space of you're not very sure. Your self-esteem could have been dealt a little blow. So the first person who meets a fraction of your need is the first person they're going to say yes to. So if you're just recently out of a relationship, you have found yourself single through whatever circumstances, take time to work on yourself, to heal, to clarify what it is that you're looking for, to also reflect and see what part you played in the ending of that other relationship, in how it ended and stuff like that. Try and bring a whole version of yourself to this dating scene. Don't come looking for somebody to fill you. Look for somebody to complement you, not somebody to come and fill an empty void. Because nobody can fill a void in your heart. Nobody can make you happy, truly. You are the only one who can make yourself happy. You are the only one who can work on yourself. So before you go jumping into a relationship, another relationship, make sure you're not rebounding and make sure you're not somebody's rebound. There are other people you will find that they have not healed from the spaces that they're coming from. And they're engulfed in flames of anger and bitterness and a lot of negativity. So you want to avoid ending up being that person or ending up being with such a person. Because in this dating space, you could be the toxic one or you could be the one ending up finding yourself in a toxic space because of where you are. I read something that you date based on your self-esteem. You date based on your maturity and your self-esteem. And I was like, wow. And it's true. If you look back at your dating sort of trend, at every space you are in life, you can actually be able to see And so, some of the things you reflect back and you're like, what was I smoking? It's where you are in your heart emotionally. It's where you are in terms of your self-esteem. So the more you work on yourself, the more you know who you are, the more you know, you set your expectations clear, the more you attract the level of sort of the kind of where you are. Hurt people hurt others. If you're hurting, you're going to go and end up with somebody who's also hurting, who will come and hurt you. Healed people heal others. So if you're healed, if you've worked on yourself and you're in a space where you kind of have gotten over whatever situation you walked out of, or however you found yourself single in midlife, then it becomes easier for you to attract the right kind of people. I said I found myself single in my 40s, and one of the things that I have found, I have made my mistakes and I have learned from them, but one of the things that I have found is truly getting to work on myself. We're always told, know your partner's love language. The question is, do you even know what your love language is? Because you're meant as an individual to show the world how to love you. You're meant to show somebody else how to love you, because it's not one size fit all. Because if you don't know what your love language is, if you don't know what makes you happy, if you don't know who you are, anybody who comes and gives you whatever it is we're giving in their relationship, you will not be able to tell them without a shadow of doubt that this is what I like, because you don't even know what you like. So even in the waiting, as you're waiting to find the right person, and it's not like you're sitting in the house just waiting, better yourself. I recently had coffee with a friend, somebody I've known for many years, and he's a very prayerful dude. So after we have had coffee and everything, he tells me, Shiro, let me pray over you. And he goes on to pray, and then before he finishes praying, he goes like, and God, get Shiro the man, what did he say? Which I remember, he said, God, as you prepare the man for Shiro, make sure that you're preparing a man after your own heart. So he went on to describe this man that he is praying that God can give me. And he was like, in the same breath, dear Lord, remember that, remind Shiro to prepare herself for this person. Remind her to make herself a woman after your own God's heart. And I was like, oh yeah, there's that. Because sometimes you're so fixated on the kind of person you are, you're not thinking of, am I the kind of person that I would like to date if I was on the other side? So are you also preparing yourself to be that ideal girlfriend, to be that ideal partner? Not just looking at this person does not meet A, B, C, D. Do you as an individual meet A, B, C, D? Because you have got to attract what it is that you are modeling. So if I say I want somebody who is full of integrity, am I full of integrity? Another thing that I have learned in this period of just loving on myself is find things that work for you. So for myself, I enjoy alone time, so that works for me. If there's a nice movie, I'm going to take myself on a movie date and I will enjoy it completely. I have one day of the week that it's my time. I will go sit down, have a nice meal. That's the time I'll do my journaling, I'll do my writing, I'll do my reflecting. I will sit and start looking at people. I will judge people. I'll look at people who are having domains. It's such a nice time with myself, by myself, sitting and reflecting. And it has become a way of life such that if I don't go for mommy date for a while, the kids go like, okay, mommy, are you okay? Are you broke? One day my little one was telling me, mommy, I can't give you money. You just go and have a cup of coffee. Because I know when I do these things, I recharge. I come back a better person. So take care of yourself. Find ways of filling your cup. Find hobbies that help you interact with other people. So in this space of dating in midlife, I know it's hectic. It's very, very hectic, by the way. So you don't even know where to start. But I can tell you where not to start is not sitting in your house, because nobody's going to come and knocking on your door telling you they're looking to have a date with you. So find spaces that make your heart happy. Find spaces that help you interact with people who you have shared values. It could be a hobby. It could be a book club. It could be, find whatever works for you. So I do long drives every so often. That's therapy for me. I am taking care of myself. I'm not sitting waiting for this person to come and sweep me off my feet and make me happy. I am really happy. Recently, I found people telling me, "Shiro, you're glowing. You must be dating." And I'm like, no, I'm not. It's not about dating. It's about knowing who I am. It's about loving on myself. It's about knowing that I am enough just as I am, that I'm not sitting and waiting for somebody to come and fill me up, to come and fill my cup. And I've found it's better to actually be alone and be happy than be in a bad relationship, because bad relationships just suck the energy out of you. Healing from whatever space you're in takes time. It's such an intentional, one step at a time journey. And in this healing space, in my loving self space, I have learned and adopted a let them theory. I saw it on Mel Robbins and I love it. And every time I put it on my stories, everybody's like, okay, you have to share this theory with me. It's simply let people be. Don't try to control things that are outside of your sphere of control. And that helps. Just let them be. I found that as in the last few months, I have gotten into a space where I've just really learned to just focus on my circle of control, work on myself, love on myself, and appreciate the fact that I am blessed, an attitude of gratitude. Let's look at some of the red flags that we're going to have to deal with dating in midlife. One of them is an availability. So obviously, if I'm a midlifer, I'm dating another midlifer, somebody maybe who is in their late 40s, early 50s. So this is somebody who is very busy. They could be separated, divorced, or they have children just like I do. They might be having a business or side hustle or something like that. They might be very busy executives or running a very successful business. And I am also busy, and most people in my space, when they find themselves in midlife, it's that space where you're trying to really get your things work and put your things in order. So that means we're all very busy. But time expands for what is important. So if somebody is not going to answer your call, somebody is not calling you, somebody is not creating time to spend with you, please walk away. Time expands for what is important. So nobody is so busy such that they will not have time to get in touch with you. Nobody is so busy such that they will not create time for you. If they can create time for their golf, if they can create time for their family, if they can create time for their friends, then if you're important enough, they will create time for you. Another one is lies. And again, in midlife, you'll find a lot of people who are in spaces where they're not very sure whether they're separated, where their marriage is working, etc. So somebody, you'll be dating somebody and they're telling you they are separated and they're not. So you can see the trend of how the phones are being answered. You can call somebody at a particular time and they will not answer, or you call and they answer in such a formal and official manner. From hi dear, hi sweetie to good evening, take a walk, Another one is possessiveness and jealousy. So initially, when you're coming from a space of being alone and somebody is all over you, it might feel sweet. It might feel like, oh, they really care. They want to spend time with me, until it becomes stalkerish. So be aware. There are levels of, I want to be with you, I want to spend time with you. There is another level of possessiveness and jealousy of where were you, who are you spending time with, were you not available on phone and stuff like that. Please walk away. I mean, where I am at, I am a midlife human being. You found me with a whole life. That means I have friends, I have family, and you're finding me, it's like a business that's a going concern. So I have things working. So I'm not sitting in the house every single evening because I'm suddenly dating. So if somebody is all over your space a bit much, feeling suffocated, I think it is not a very healthy trait. So I would reconsider as well. Have a conversation, because not all of them are abusive-ish. So have a conversation. And another thing that I've learned, follow your gut feeling. If your gut feel tells you something is up, if gut feel tells you something is not right in this space, please listen to your gut feeling. I know mine 80% of the time is never wrong. Another one is friends. I keep saying, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. You're dating somebody and you don't know who their friends are, or they do not have friends. Truly, you have dated somebody for 6 months and you've not met their friends, and they do not have friends. So if they're not spending time with you, they're working, they're at home, or they're doing something at the club or something. Oh, I think for me that's a red flag, a serious red flag. Another red flag is victim mentality. This person who comes to you and tells you how bad his ex-partner was, how evil the ex-partner was. You even start feeling sorry for him. And if you're like me, who are natural, you need to be very careful so that you don't swoop in and want to make it away, want to make the pain go away. Somebody who is a victim. In high school, things went wrong because he was a victim. It was not his fault. His marriage fell apart because, I'm going to speak his because I'm a lady. Fell apart. It was not his fault. It was his wife, his partner, very evil person. He goes to the restaurant and he's not served the right food and he's a victim. Somebody who's always looking at a glass half empty, these people will drain the energy out of you. And I speak this particular one out of a bit of experience. I had an encounter with somebody who was so possessive and so needy and such a victim. The fact that I have walked a journey and I'm a bit aware, I'm self-aware, made me realize this is not healthy. This is just too much. So for me, that's a red flag. It might not be a red flag for you, but it is a red flag for me. Somebody who is unreliable, somebody who does not keep their word, and somebody who is undecisive. I feel like we are too old. Speaking for myself, I'm too old to be dealing with indecision, too old to be dealing with unreliability. So if I know I can't count on you, I have no business investing my time on you, investing my time in spaces that will mean I am taking away time from something else that is important, taking away time from my children, taking away time for just resting and watching a movie and stuff like that. So for me, that's another red flag. So something else that we also have to be very aware is that not every working person is your ex. If you're coming from a space where you have been hurt in a relationship, your walls go up. For some, your walls go up and you want to protect yourself. That means there are triggers. You will see things that will remind you of your ex. There are things that will remind you of how hurt you were. But remember, not everybody is your ex. Again, even as we have talked about red flags, not everything is a red flag. It just be something that you might need to have a conversation about and maybe compromise. But it depends on the level of the red flag. And I said at the beginning, don't go shopping on an empty stomach. Don't go looking for a relationship before you have healed from the earlier one, because these red flags, you will not see them. And later, you look back and go like, but I saw that. Why didn't I see that? Why didn't I react? Why didn't I walk? Why didn't I do A, B, C, D? So be very, very aware. So what are the next steps? And this is not an exhaustive list. I look forward to actually engaging on our comments, on our chats. What are those red flags that you have seen? What are red flags that you have dealt with? Or what are red flags you're seeing in your current relationship, and what are you doing about it? So what are the next steps? So if you're like me, you're single, you have children, at what point do you introduce this partner to your children, this person to your children? There's no right or wrong answer, because there's no guideline on how long you should date a person. So follow your gut feeling, but don't introduce them too soon. Don't make things move. Don't allow for things to move very, very fast. Take your time. Do your due diligence. If you have listened to my earlier podcast, there's one we were talking about the ego. And you're saying that ego tests endurance, takes time to do its due diligence. So do your due diligence before you commit, before you start introducing this person to your children, before you start introducing this person to your family. Take time and be sure. I've also seen that it's very important to have one or two people who you can introduce to this person. And these are people who have got your back and people who will tell you the truth. Because again, when you're looking to get into a relationship, you have blind spots. There's some things that you might not see. Sometimes because you don't want to see them, and sometimes because you're so excited and swept away by these amazing feelings. So I have a couple of people that you will use as feelers. It's very important for you to introduce somebody, especially when you think you're getting serious, to a couple of your friends who you know will tell you the absolute truth. Friends who know you, who know what you're about, who know your values, and you'll be able to call out this guy and tell whether you guys are compatible or not. Why? Because sometimes you might have blind spots. Sometimes maybe you're engulfed by loneliness and you're just looking to have somebody. Being in love is really good. So a guy comes along and you're thinking, this must be it. But your friend will tell you, no, Shiro, you cannot date this person because of A, B, C, D. This is not your type. Because everybody has a type. I have a type, believe it or not. So have a couple of people who will help you just sort of feel this person. Funny one. I did a couple of dates with this particular gentleman, amazing gentleman. But we had so many otherwise moments. I was calling them otherwise moments, where they're not stories. It's just like, hey, otherwise. So when it gets there, please move on. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope this has made you smile. I hope you have gotten a nugget from it. Please share, subscribe, like, and see you on the next episode. Thank you.